Today's learning resource is brought to you by three partners: Youth Enterprise Development Fund, KCA University, and the University of Nottingham, under the co-production for youth entrepreneurship in Kenya, COPEC project, supported by the British Council.
Hello and welcome. My name is Maurice Morimi from the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. And today's topic is common sources of business financing. And we will also focus on later on financing provided by the Youth Enterprise Development Fund for business. But before we go into that, I just want to make this observation that there are many people who are not able to actualize their business ideas simply because they lack the necessary capital. They have done all the investigations they can, they have looked for the idea, they have even built their business plans, but unfortunately they are not able to actualize that dream simply because they lack the capital to set the business into motion. And therefore, we want to look at some of the common sources of business financing for these people. And number one is bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is a very common source of business financing, and what it means is basically an individual using their personal resources to start their business. Whatever they have is what they use, and they keep on growing bit by bit, even as they grow their business. In other words, they do not rely on any external source of financing for their business. They finance the business themselves using the little resources that they have. And slowly they grow their business into a level where it can be able to attract investors. The second common source of business financing that is very associated with bootstrapping is personal savings. There are people who put aside finances or money over a period of time with the aim of accumulating enough for them to be able to start their business. And this is actually a very good method of raising financing for your enterprise, because that way you're not bogged down, you're not burdened by any type of debt. You are actually using savings that you've accumulated over time for that particular purpose. So even as you start thinking about setting up your own business, one of the challenges I would like to throw out to you is, why don't you start putting aside some little amounts of finances for later use in establishing your own enterprise. The other way of financing your business is by use of family and friends. And this involves pitching your idea, your business idea, to your close friends and your close relatives and inviting them to support you in establishing this business. One of the advantages of using this route is that rarely will friends and relatives charge you the market rates for this financing. However, a caution is necessary here. It's important, first of all, to negotiate the terms with these friends and relatives, because some of them may have expectations. So have it written down, if possible. When they are giving these finances, are they expecting you to pay back with interests? What type of interests? So are they expecting you to pay back? How much interest are they charging you? What amount of time are they giving you so that you are able to repay their finances back? And it is very, very important that as a business person, you honor those terms and conditions that your family and relatives, your family and friends have actually given you. There is another way of financing your business, and this has become quite common in the recent times, and this is mobile money, access to mobile money. Right now, anyone who has access to their phones, they are able to actually access amounts of money, from different financiers like banks, mobile money companies, so that they can be able to run their businesses. In fact, there is a recent research that has been conducted, and it has shown that so many Kenyans are relying on mobile money to actually fuel and finance their businesses. it is also a very good way because you're able to get money instantly, put the money into use in your business, and return the money. And the more you borrow and repay faithfully, you are able to access more and more. The other source of business financing that is also quite common is bank loans and overdrafts. And so many people over time have been able to rely on this as a source of financing, and they have been able to borrow from the banks, obtain overdrafts from their banks and their service providers, and they put this money into the business, and they are able to negotiate with the financiers the length and the terms, other terms of financing, and they're able to repay that within the recommended time. And we have seen so many of them succeeding in repaying. However, the caution again is ensure that you familiarize yourself with the terms and the conditions, and then ensure that you stick to those terms even as you get the financing. There are people also who use business credit cards. Again, a business credit card just operates like the personal credit card, just that it is meant to obtain financing specifically for business operations. Again, it is important that you familiarize yourself with the terms and conditions that have been set by your service provider, the bank, so that then you do not breach on those terms. I want to touch on another very important source of business financing, and this is government affirmative action funds. The government of Kenya has set up quite a number of initiatives, funds, and even government agencies specifically to finance different segments of the population. And I want to talk about one of them. This is the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. Youth Enterprise Development Fund is a state corporation currently under the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs Development. The Youth Fund was established to specifically assist young people between the ages of 18 to 35 years to acquire business financing as well as business development services like training and capacity building, market support and linkages, commercial infrastructure, so that they can be able to establish and run successful enterprises and therefore create and expand employment opportunities for themselves. These are some of the services provided by the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. Number one, enterprise development services. And this involves training, appropriate business coaching for young people that want to venture into business so that they acquire the right kind of skills to run successful enterprises. Number two, market support and linkages. This service is offered to young people who are keen on accessing markets with their different types of products. And the Youth Fund supports young people to access these markets locally, across our region, and sometimes out of the country. The next service that Youth Fund offers is commercial infrastructure. And commercial infrastructure support entails aggregating young people and according them decent workspaces so that they can be able to venture into their businesses within conditions that are good for their businesses. And lastly is business financing. And this is what I want to talk about. Youth Fund has quite a number of loan facilities that are tailored specifically for young people. And these are some of the loans that you have and you can be able to access at the Youth Enterprise Development Fund so that you can be able to finance and actualize your business idea. The first facility that is offered at the Youth Enterprise Development Fund is called the Stawi Loan. Stawi Loan is designed for youth groups, registered youth groups in Kenya. These youth groups could either come in to start a new group project or business, or could come in to ask for this financing to expand already existing projects or enterprises. And therefore, the group is able to access between 100,000 Kenya shillings to 1 million, which is repayable within 12 to 36 months. And this loan is interest-free. The next category of loan at the Youth Enterprise Fund is the Smart Loan. The Smart Loan is designed for individuals who are within registered groups. And these individuals come in and they get the financing to run their own individual enterprises. These individuals are guaranteed by other members of the group, and they are able to access between 25,000 to 200,000, repayable within 9 to 24 months, depending on the loan amount. The next category of financing is called VUCA loan, and VUCA loan is also designed for individuals who would want to start or expand their businesses. The individuals are able to access between 100,000 to 5 million, which is repayable between 1 to 6 years. Now, this particular facility has an interest rate which is charged at 6% per annum on a reducing balance. The fourth category is called the agribiz loan. The agribiz loan is designed for youth who are running or who would be interested to venture in any kind of agricultural related activity. And they are able to access between 100,000 to 5 million, repayable within 3 years. The financing is basically for either working capital or even to acquire different types of equipment and facilities, to start or to expand their agribiz related enterprises. The fifth one is called Talanta loan. And the Talanta loan is targeted for youth who are in the creative or performing arts sector. And it helps them again to get the working capital or to acquire machines, equipment to help them start or run and expand their business enterprises within the arts sector. It is basically meant to help them commercialize their talents and convert their talents into businesses. And young people are able to access a maximum of 2 million, which is repayable within 36 months. The final loan category that the Youth Fund offers is called the LSO or LPO financing. And this loan is designed for individuals or groups or companies owned by young people and run by young people who are interested in getting or venturing into the tendering business, where they specifically have been awarded tenders to provide certain services to government institutions. Through the LPO financing, young people are able to access 5 million Kenya shillings to help them service the tenders that they have obtained from the government institutions. In case you're interested in accessing any of the Youth Fund services, I want to encourage you to look for any Youth Enterprise Development Fund officer, particularly those based at the regional offices. And the Youth Fund offices are located at the county commissioners' offices, or you could also visit them at their head office in Upper Hill, Renaissance Corporate Park, 4th floor, Upper Hill, or you could also email and inquire on any issue relating to their services using the email info@youthfund.go.ke. You could also visit the Youth Fund website, which is www.youthfund.go.ke for more information. Thank you. And